Welcome to Wild Diamonds, where we hunt for the rare and remarkable. This is Paul, and that tagline especially applies to today's video topic, where I am doing a map ranking react mini-series on just a selection of the 18 reserves that I ranked in full just a few days ago through 2026 before the Peru map comes out. And so if you missed that video, go check it out for all 18 and let me know what you agree and disagree with. This is episode 2 of this mini-series. The first episode, I actually talked about Latent Lakes and how I ranked it at number 14 out of 18, which felt tough, but watch the video for my reasoning and maybe just why, and we'll see. Maybe I'll play it some more, and I may raise up a few spots if I have some more trophy luck there. But speaking of trophy luck, the total opposite problem is here at Te Awaroa, which I have ranked at number 10. And this is a very good map. Just to be clear, I think that most maps in the game are good to great, and that includes this one. This is a great map, in my opinion, where I have actually spent the most time of any map. And so here, let me get just like a brief look at that. Oh, where do you go? I think it's going to be under the world, and I'm just going to show you real quick on Te Awaroa. So I've explored 100% of the reserve and explored 1.2 million distance traveled. And just for comparison, let's compare it to like Quattro, where I have 145,000 like meters, I guess, distance traveled, or Yukon, where I've done 279,000 meters. Te Awaroa is over 1 million. And that is because this map is the grind map, obviously, for two, old school, it's known for two great ones, which is the red deer and the fallow deer. And so for those of you that somehow maybe don't know, if you're new to the game or haven't quite come to this map yet, generally speaking, this upper section here is the grind for the red deer, with a few spots in the river kind of mixed in there. And then the bottom section here, roughly, is for the fallow. And so I am fortunate to have one great one fallow deer that was shot, I'll never forget it, was shot about right there. And thank goodness that happened. I believe that I had 16 diamond fallow deers, not stacked or anything, but just kind of across a few runs combined, where the great one finally popped. And so this map does have a great one. But for further context, for red deer, I have no great one yet, and I have 50 diamond red deers. I actually have them counted. I taxidermy all my diamond species, so that is not a made-up number. So there is both a lot of success here and incredible rares and whatnot, and I'll show you two in the lodge, but it's also just like that lack of ultimate payoff, which is fine. I have retired from the red deer grind in Te Awaroa. I have moved on. I've gotten 3 great ones from other species. I have a super rare Bengal tiger, and there'll be other trophies to come from my time doing this channel with you guys on Wild Diamonds. But the red deer really defined an early era of me in the Call of the Wild. And so we'll talk about that. I just don't think that you can really discuss Te Awaroa as a map without the grinds, as it's just really the primary reason to come here. And that's sort of why I have this map ranked at number 10 out of 18. And again, to be clear, I have this as a tier 2 map. And so like similar quality to Tornasheen, Watercolinas, Yukon Valley, and others. It's a great map. But I just think that if not for the grinding, I personally would not have spent nearly as much time here. I mean, a tiny fraction of it as I have. And that might be kind of a common, experience from players, where I think that the time spent here versus the actual like excitement and quality of the map maybe has somewhat of an imbalance. That's a very hard, pretty nice red deer there. I'm not going to go get it because I have shot too many here. I'm here to talk about it. And so, first of all, look, this is a pretty map. I mean, look at that. Like Great Mountain, really lovely. Obviously, Great Lakes. The drink zones here are just smooth as butter, easy to get around. I will say that for the grind to set up your tents at some of these places. They're hard to get to, like especially this top lake. You have to go here if you're doing red deer. It's an amazing spot with tons of zones. That I even have some that aren't appearing. But if you look at this, it's really far away from the nearest place to go. And there's places like that for sure. Same with this lake here. It's incredible for red deer, but I took my tent up, but it's kind of far away to get to. So here we'll go here and check this out. But I would say the strengths of Te Awaroa are certainly just the drink zones, setting up tents. It's not too dense. Obviously, this is a very open map. And even if there are forests, as you can see here in the picture, the leaves are higher up on the trees, so you can still look through and hunt. What I think this map really excels at is it's a great way to learn the game. So you learn the mechanics and the systems to get your first taste of grinding, to see if it is a method of gameplay that you like or not. And for that, this map is just, it's cozy, it's easy, it kind of has like a dreamy atmosphere with like the Lord of the Rings Hobbit kind of inspired music, and even a few story missions on that, which is pretty fun. And so I give it a ton of credit for that. And to be frank, my success in this game would be nothing compared without this map. Te Awaroa, for better and worse, it is by far my most successful map. I have, at least on my spreadsheet counters, I have a little over 150 diamonds and 60 rares across all my play so far in my 3 years and 1,100 hours of game time. And of those 150 diamonds, literally a third of them are from this map, which is insane. And so I'm not trying to sound like, ungrateful. It isn't a great place to be. It's interesting how certain maps, for all of us, for whatever reason, they just kind of tend to be more successful than others. You may be wanting for a certain species or hunt to go well on a map. Maybe you're playing in Africa or you're playing in Australia and you're grinding something and it just doesn't hit. And then you go to another map and you just kind of find like, oh, hey, well, there's a diamond. Cool. Well, let's shoot another one. And oh, there's another diamond. And then you kind of just find that you're kind of on a gold mine. That's what happened with me here at Te Awaroa, where the red deer just popped instantly. And it was really remarkable. I have shot these zones down a whole lot, by the way. I haven't been here in a while, so if you happen to notice, there should be a really good like herd management in place. Hopefully, unless it lost some data or anything. And so let me break away from the map for real quick. Let's go to the Trophy Lodge and just show you guys like the red deers. So I'm in the midst of reorganizing and rebuilding my lodges, and I'll actually have you guys kind of come along and join me in some videos on that. But right now, I have two different ones. I have Deer Lodge Grind and the Deer Lodge Collection. The Collection is a nice variety of species. The Grind is just for red deer and moose because I have so many of each, but like one-sided, way more red deer than anything. So I have grinded fallow deer, like I mentioned, and I really enjoy the fallow grind. It's just so nice and efficient. They're really fun. And the fallow have a lot of uncommon furs about them, which adds a fun factor that I will say the red deer grind, the furs are very boring. Kudos to the game for remastering red deer recently, and I know that they added a couple of new rares that I have not yet gotten. But still, the fallow deer for me was a bit more fun. But the trophies for red deer though are like second to none. This species to me is just one of the best diamonds in the whole game. Their diamond racks are truly amazing, and as you'll see going through here, they are varied too in how they look. Just going through really quick. So I have, I think, 2 albinos. I'm very fortunate to get that. These take a long time to get. This is a gold albino. They're really cool. Just with the diamond back there. This is a male gold piebald. Now, I will say, of course, this is not how they looked when I hunted them in Te Awaroa, over a year or two ago. With the recent Scotland map with Torn Machine, the developers remastered these species and they look completely different, which is fine. I overall like it, but it's just that the piebald when I shot it did not look like that. It looked different. These are all just diamonds, and you'll see they're in the mid 260s on the scores. The one thing I will have I did find is that I used to have two diamond atypical racks. Here, sorry, really quick. Let me just say it in front of me. That's a gold melanistic red deer. I love that trophy, and I'm so fortunate to get it. It actually took longer to get than the albino, and it does have a little bit of brown, kind of flecks in the some brown hair in there, but overall the melon just looks amazing. So anyway, all those are diamonds. I used to have two atypical racks that were diamonds, where just one side is notably shorter than the other. And I will say that since the remaster, I can't find them, which is a bummer. I think all the racks changed a little bit. So, but anyway, that's part of it. I'll show you a few more racks that I have. I'll save the moose discussion for a different video. That's totally different. But yeah, here's another uh, albino, super cool. Here's some piebalds, and then the other Mela. It's a goal, but I flubbed the shot, but still really cool. You appreciate any rare that you find. You thought that was it? No, there's more rares, or there's more diamonds. I mean, one thing just really quick back here. This is super cool. If you look at these two are tied for my highest score red deer. I think the highest one's a 268.59. So not max score, I don't think, but a really good score where you can just see that half circle is almost a perfect shape. So just really cool. And I love the symmetry of the racks, and there's an elegance to the red deer. It's a very like a fairy tale kind of creature, just really cool. So I loved hunting these because they do go, from one trivial all the way to 9 legendary. I think that's it. I'll go ahead and show you some fallow deer too, and then we'll go back to the map. Let's go to the Deer Lodge collection for just a brief fallow deer look. Whoa. And really, these two species are why you would hunt Te Awaroa. If you're not into the deer species, I just don't see why you would go to the map, because there's just other places that are more beautiful to look at. There's more interesting scenery. But really, and that's where I rank it at number 10. It's a really good map. It's a great map, but there's even of the maps that have the red deer as the highest class animal, where I'm thinking Te Awaroa, Quattro Colinas, and Tornasheen or Scotland. Those three maps, to me personally, I think Te Awaroa actually is like the least impressive map of the three. I just love the nature of the other two even more. And nowadays, if you're gonna hunt red deer, I would hunt them for sure in Scotland because it just feels right. That's like their home, right? So that's just me. But if you're gonna grind, it's easy, fun. You learn a lot. At Te Awaroa, I think you go there for like the gameplay and the skill development and the level up and the cash, more so than like the strength of the map itself. And just in terms of memorable places and landmarks and whatnot. So anyway, let me show you just real quick here. Let's just focus briefly on the Fallow. So this is the Fabled Mocha, great one that I got on the map. Thank goodness. It was a relief because I had 50 diamond red deer. I had 15 or so diamond fallow deer, a lot of rares. I love all the rares and things. It's great. And then this popped up. Funny enough, I went back for just one more desperate kind of run at red deer again. I was gonna set up again, and so I actually took down my tents like one by one of fallow. But just as a tip, in case you don't do this, I'm sure most of you probably do if you play the game. If you're doing that, where you have a grind and you go through it a whole lot, and you just you haven't quite gotten like an ultimate trophy, and you want to take your tents down, when you go to each zone, I just urge you, do one more look and then take the tent down. But like, just don't go to the tent, take it away, and leave. Like, go check your zone, because that's what happened here with this right here. I took away the tent at this fallow deer spot, and I would not have seen it if I had just gone back up to the red deer hunt. I got this and just happened to look over, like off in the distance, and spotted this from like 350 away, and my heart dropped in a good way. Like, I could not believe it. So just saying, check your zones and don't just leave a great one hanging on your map for who knows how long. So, but in addition, yeah, let me see. So I have the great one that's amazing. In addition, yeah, like here's a nice huddle that I have where I've got, of course, all the rares like the piebald, melanistic, which is so cool to see. sorry. And then it's like an uncommon diamond. Yeah, you can see like the size of the racks are really good. A lot of fallow. But yeah, I think that the map is strong because you can alternate these two, kind of, get tired of one, switch to the other, and they both are different enough too that so the map really just encourages you to stick with these. Here's an uncommon puddle with the white, which makes you think it's an albino so often when you spot it from a distance. The chocolate, which I love the chocolate. I think it's a really pretty fur. Then the dark spotted. So those are all uncommon. And then just a whole bunch more fallow. You can see I've got a lot. A lot of diamonds, a lot of luck. It took me a long time, but once you finally kind of break through, eventually they start popping. So okay, we'll go back to the map and talk a little bit more about Te Awaroa and why I kind of rank it at 10. Sorry, that's loud. Um, why rank it at 10 for good and bad. Um, the elevation, the one alternate to that I will say is that the elevation you can kind of get to by climbing up into these mountains here or even here is really cool. Like I do remember I took all my tents down after the Great One, and I did set up here initially for tar grind, and then I just kind of took them away because I thought I played this map way too much. But it was really pretty, so I will give it that credit that there is a lot of joy to be had here for sure. But overall, the nature doesn't really appeal to me too much. And then also, this map's just kind of capped with its species list. There's 10 species, but it was 9 for a long time back when I played it more. The 10th being they added the tar after Son of Baton came out. And that is a good addition. And I wish the game developers backfilled more often, for sure. Um, but, having 10 species, it's not bad. It's not terrible or anything like that. But it's also just unless you're really grinding for those few, species, there's not a whole lot here. The feral pig is okay. I think that having um, like a feral pig is your, one of the top uh, ranked class species. Just kind of speaks to there's more interesting, bovine species to me than that one. The feral goats here are great. And again, for me, I've actually had good luck with feral goats. You guys might hate me, but yeah, the first 2 feral goat diamond potentials that I saw anywhere in the game were here on Te Awaroa, like 5 mediums, and both actually hit. What's that? That's a diamond potential. It's probably not a diamond, but it's a pretty good one though, for sure. We'll take a shot at it and take a look. So, that's a spotted. Yeah, pretty nice. Okay, let's just have some fun. I've shot so many here, I'm not worried about it at all. We're gonna take a long shot and just see what we can do. 10, let's see. Okay, we'll see if we can drop it. We'll go check it out. I used to have tents placed all over here, but they're all gone. So, which feels kind of cleansing in a way. Oh, that was a quick kill. Whoa. One thing here, really quick, I'll mention if any of you happen to be kind of a beginner or just kind of learning the game, did you see that where I shot and pulled the map up and immediately saw a hunting pressure circle? This is something that did not click. That did not click with me for like so long. Even I think when I hit like max level in the game, that right there of just shooting and then checking your map to see if you got a hunting pressure, that tells you if an animal was killed or not. So if you take a shot and you're kind of just not sure, you can find out before you walk all the way over, to the spot. You can get an indicator quickly of, oh, okay, it's down, great. Or of course, if you keep checking kind of back and forth and you keep waiting and this hunting pressure circle does not appear, then you didn't get a good shot, you got non-vital, and you may have to, track it a long way, and it may become tracking prey, right, where you just didn't get the kill. So just a little tip, just sharing. Hopefully you guys are smarter than I was, where I just did not realize that for the longest time. But anyway, this is the fallow. You saw that change the time. I moved it to between, what are they, between 10 and 13. Oh, okay. I actually put it too late, but that's fine. But anyway, the fallow deer is great here. And again, like there is pretty scenery. I mean, I like it, but to me, I would just say that Quattro Colinas, I prefer the scenery much more. I also prefer Quattro Colinas for having an Iberian wolf, and just having that wolf presence adds like a danger, uh, like kind of changing gameplay to the vibe that Te Awaroa doesn't provide. Yeah, I was to say, I mean, I've seen enough of these that I knew it wasn't diamond, but diamond potential, I'll always respect it. Try to get an ethical score, no worries, but I don't need that. So that's one thing, and then also with Tornasheen, and again, these are the three maps where like the red deer is the top, uh, like class species. Tornasheen, it just feels so right to hunt the red deer there that going forward, I will hunt red deer if I ever do again on Scotland and not here. But no, like there's a come here to kind of cut your teeth, you know, get XP, uh, learn the game, master your aiming. And this is a very fun map. I think it's an important map for most players to play and experience. You're going to get a lot of trophies. You're going to get rares, hopefully. So to be clear, this is a great map. I really like it. I am slanted towards big game, animals, high class species, predators, and so that's where for me the most thrilling hunts don't happen here unless you get a great one or a super rare. In that case, you're set. So we'll kind of wrap up there. I would love for you to comment below and let me hear about your experience on Te Awaroa. Do you think that my ranking is too low or too high? Have you gotten a great one or super rare? And if so, let me know for sure. What are your maybe what's like your favorite area of the map, or do you prefer like the fallow or the red deer grind, and why? So hit me up there for sure. This is a really important map in the game. I don't think that it should be skipped over. Everyone should try it if you're into trophy hunting. Come here, go to New Zealand, check it out. But yeah, I think the number 10 ranking for me personally, with just what I look for in a map, is justified. But we'll always kind of revise these as we go along. So with that, I'll sign off here. This has been Paul with Wild Diamonds. Thank you so much for tuning in to this ranking react video. And until next time, happy hunting.